sabayan ko siya. Talagang patibayan na lang ng pangatawan. Basta bilib lang ako sa sarili ko kasi naging sayo kong matino. Kaya magtiwala din ako sa sarili ko. Kaya kong lagpasan to.
Ibigay ko ang lahat para manalo ulit. Pangalawang beses na akong talo dito. Lahat ng plano namin, ibigay namin sa laban.
Yan po, napakagandang scenic view of the bay. And of course, ang ating venue for Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow in partnership with Ginebra San Miguel, ang Okada. At nasa loob po tayo ng Okada Manila Grand Ballroom in Parañaque City for the continuation of action hostilities in Blow by Blow. And upcoming is a 10-rounder in the Bantamweight division. We've got a lot of guests, both foreign and local. A lot of officials from the Rotary Club. Mga kaboxing natin, we are standing room only in the Okada Grand Ballroom. Huwag niyong kalilimutan to subscribe and follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. At panoorin po natin ang Blow by Blow every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. on Signal Sports 1 Sports, Channel 41. Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow in partnership with Ginebra San Miguel. Ito po ang upcoming fight natin. Benny Cañete kontra Edward Heno. Heno is 32 years old. He's a southpaw. Lumaban na po yan ng World Championship. Back in 2019, he fought for the WBO Light Flyweight Championship in Indio, California. Southpaw, si Edward Heno. Ganun din po si Cañete. Makikita po natin ang kanilang records. 11 wins and with 8 knockouts si Cañete with 2 losses. At si Heno naman po 16 wins, 6 by KO, 5 losses and 6 draws. Sa pag-umpisa po ng career ni Cañete, he went 7-0 sa kanyang pag-umpisa ng boxing career niya. Here we go with our ring announcer Bobby Madehar for the official intros.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter coming into the ring, Edward Heno. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter coming into the ring, Benny Cañete. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow here in Okada, Manila, Hotel and Casino, Parañaque City, in partnership with Ginebra San Miguel, in coordination with Rotary International, District 3810, headed by Governor Jackie Rodriguez, and District Rotary Foundation Chair, PDG Lisa Elorde. All professional boxing bouts are sanctioned by the Games and Amusements Board. GAB Chairman, Attorney Francisco Rivera. GAB Commissioners, Attorney Manuel Plaza III, Angel Bautista. The Chief of Boxing and Other Contact Sports, Mr. Rodil Manaug. Ringside physicians, Dr. Alfred De La Fuente and Dr. Noel Napa. Timekeepers, Estela Igasa and Romulo Santiago. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 117.5 pounds. He has a record of 16 wins, 5 losses, 6 draw, and 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Aljoharo Boxing Gym, Binangonan, Rizal. Ladies and gentlemen, Edward Heno. Heno. Right across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 118.5 pounds. He has a record of 11 wins, 2 losses, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Omega Boxing Gym, Cebu City. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Cañete. Cañete. Judges at ringside, Edwin Barrientos and Engineer Greg Ortega, Brembot Dolalas. Third man in the ring, referee Carlo Baluyot. This will be 10 rounds of professional boxing.
Edward, Benny, alam natin ang bawal ha. Bigyan niyo akong malinis na laban ha. Okay, touch glove. Edward,
Scheduled for 10 po tayo.
Benny.
And this is going to be a big event. Unang-una si Cañete, ang kanyang 2 talo in his professional career, both coming on blow-by-blow events. Natalo po siya ni Noli Makilan in a 7th round knockout. That was in Okada in March of this year. At eto, bumalik si Cañete sa Okada. And then, over in Mandaluyong in 2023, natalo po siya by a unanimous decision ni Kenneth Llover. So the 2 losses in his career were inflicted on blow-by-blow. Kanya po si Cañete hoping to reverse the trend in this fight against Heno. At si Heno, experienced fighter. Lumaban na po yan sa Japan 4 times. He won 2 of those fights. He also fought in Thailand, has fought in the US. He fought for the World Championship and he's a former Oriental light flyweight champion. However, in 2022, his weight fluctuated between 118 to 124. And now he's down to being a bantamweight once more. His natural weight in the past was light flyweight. Ngayon, umakyat na po siya as a bantamweight. He's 32 years old, hoping to make a turn for the better sa kanyang career. He has lost 3 of his last 4 fights. And his last fight, that was last July, natalo po siya by knockout. His first knockout loss to Toshiya Kishi in Tokyo. Sa 5 talo ni Heno, he lost 4 on points and only 1 by knockout. That was his last fight against Kishi in July in Tokyo. So Heno trying to make a comeback. At si Cañete trying to break that losing trend on blow-by-blow. Cañete is the boy with the white trunks. At si Heno naman, he's the southpaw wearing the pink trunks with yellow trims on the side. Very experienced fighter po ito si Heno. Napigit po natin, he has fought overseas. He has fought for the World Championship once. And he was defeated by Elwin Soto on a 12-round unanimous decision in Indio, California. That was for the WBO Light Flyweight Championship back in 2019. We're in for the long haul. This is scheduled for 10. Jabs coming from Benny Cañete as he's trying to dictate the tempo of this fight. Heno, being the experienced veteran, he's pacing himself.
Time.
And that's the end of round number 1. Benny Cañete from the Omega Boxing Gym in Cebu City. originally from Siquijor. At si Heno naman, born in Muntinlupa. Julius Hungco po ang nasa corner ni Benny Cañete. Both fighters are southpaws. And Cañete is fighting in his third blow-by-blow show. Si Edward Heno, what a start in his professional career. Turned pro in 2011. And in his first 19 fights, wala pa po siyang talo. And then he went on to establish a career as a journeyman. Ayun naman po, making his first appearance in a blow-by-blow show is Edward Heno. Heno. Now, landing a big right hand. Si Heno, and scoring with another right hand on Benny Cañete. Heno pouring it on here in the second round. Putting Cañete on the defensive. Big right hand swing there by Edward Heno. Both southpaws. There's now Cañete going to the body, throwing the right jab, establishing or trying to re-establish control in this fight. Biglang pumutok kanina si Heno, scoring with big right hands. Here's Cañete showing a lot of respect for Heno, especially after Heno went on the attack early in this round. Shot to the body by Cañete. And then the right jab. Heno looking to trap Cañete into our corner. Wild right swing by Edward Heno. And then a jab continuing to work para kay Benny Cañete, and he just missed with the right swing. More jabs coming from Cañete. As Edward Heno, biglang natigil ang kanyang pag-aatake dito. Shot to the body here. And then shot to the head by Cañete. A feeble reply coming from Edward Heno. He's taking some shots here from Cañete. Tries to come back with a 1-2.
10 seconds, huh?
Cañete focusing his attack on the body of Edward Heno, and Heno smiling away at Cañete at the end of round number 2. And Edward Heno, nakikita natin on your screens with AJ Bonifacio, his trainer. Heno, matibay siya. This guy comes from the school of hard knocks. Punch of the round, panuunin po natin. Some big shots being scored here by Benny Cañete as he pushed Heno against the ropes. Yan po ang punch of the round natin, brought to you by Ginebra San Miguel. Heno, you see him on your screens. He's a survivor. Out of his 6, or rather out of his 5 losses, only 1 came by knockout. That was in his last fight in Japan. Ito ngayon si Benny Cañete. I thought he might have established some kind of control in round number 2 with that body attack and then a constant jabs with the right hand. Ang baba ngayon ang work rate ni Edward Heno. Cañete, a lot more active. Cañete is only 24 years old, while si Edward Heno is 32 years old. Youth is on the side of Cañete. Now, Edward Heno clubbing away with that left hand. A shot to the side of the body by Heno.
Tap, tap, tap.
And Cañete doing a good job of stopping that attack ni Heno by putting his head down.
Ulo,
Heno
ulo,
connecting
ulo,
with that
ulo.
left
Tap, 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 tap.
twice to the head of Benny Cañete.
Ulo, ha?
And never count out a veteran. He certainly knows his way inside that ring. See Edward Heno. There's a slip. No knockdown.
Go, fight.
That left hand of Benny Cañete packs a lot of power. Wild miss coming from Edward Heno. And Cañete continuing to tattoo Edward Heno with that right jab.
Ingat, ingat, ha? Ingat sa ulo. Okay,
Accidental
go.
headbutt. No damage. And Cañete has to keep throwing that right jab. There it is. Through the defense ni Edward Heno. Heno's gloves held up high to protect himself from those jabs. And if the hands of Heno are held up high, Cañete should just go downstairs. Yun, bukas na bukas yung tagiliran ni Edward Heno. Heno is almost allowing Cañete to hit him
Tap, 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 tap. Ulo, ulo, ha?
because he's confident with his high guard protecting his face. Pero open yung kanyang midsection tsaka tagiliran. Big swing there and a miss by Edward Heno. And he comes forward with the right hand. A better round for Heno in this one.
Time.
End of round number 3. And it might come down to a war of attrition. Kung sinong unang maubusan, yun ang matatalo. Both these fighters are showing signs of wear and tear as early as round number 3. Panoorin po natin ang punch of the round. Nice left hand coming from Edward Heno. And you see another left hand. Cañete taking the brunt of that left hand. As you see, Mr. Dan Barrera looking very dapper in his sports coat.
Okay, fourth round, ha?
One of the big
Ingat sa
supporters
ulo.
of Blow by
Parang
Blow.
laban, ha? Okay.
Kaibigan natin si Dan Barrera. And now, action continuing. We're in round number 4. A very quiet atmosphere, very tense atmosphere dito po sa Okada Grand Ballroom as the fans are witnessing a classic display of good boxing by two fighters who are used to big-time action. Si Benny Cañete, 13 fights under his belt, 8 knockouts in 11 wins. At si Edward Heno, a former Oriental light flyweight champion, once fought for the World Championship.
Tap, 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 tap.
Clubbing right hand there, scored by Cañete. A counter right, actually. And here it comes again. Throwing that jab. Ito, nagpapasuntok si Heno. Almost like Muhammad Ali's rope-a-dope tactic. Protecting his head with a high guard, but leaving his body open. And there he goes, Cañete going to the midsection. He's seeing that that's a wide open target para sa kanya. Cañete trying to break down that high guard ni Edward Heno. As you see Cañete's corner. And those jabs continuing to land on Edward Heno. Cañete being very, very active. If he doesn't get those jabs to connect, he's throwing shots to the body. And Edward Heno showing some guile. I've seen him throw that elbow twice. Short punches being thrown by Edward Heno. Heno looks like he's a lot more comfortable fighting from close distance. Now Edward Heno showing a shoulder roll defense. And I think it's because he's feeling the impact of those body punches.
Time.
And that's the end of round number 4. Very technical fight. Benny Cañete trying to break down the defense of Edward Heno by constant jabbing, trying to break down that high guard and throwing shots to the side of the body. Mga kaibigan natin, mga kaboxing, nandito po tayo sa Okada, Manila Grand Ballroom in Parañaque City. Punch of the round, panoorin po natin. Brought to you by Heno San Miguel. That was a nice right hand, the right jab connecting for Edward Heno. And Cañete trying to retaliate and get that point back. Punch of the round brought to you by Heno San Miguel. Ang paborito natin lahat. Round number 5. It's been tense. Not only tense, but also intense. As Edward Heno trying to come closer. He likes to throw those short chopping lefts and rights. While si Benny Cañete, he likes to fight from a distance. Throwing that right jab out of his southpaw stance. And occasionally throwing the left to the side of the body. Yan ang pattern ng atake ni Benny Cañete. Now Edward Heno trying to come closer. And he wants to engage. Alam ni Edward Heno, may advantage si Cañete in fighting from a distance. So now he's trying to close the gap. But Cañete again throwing that right jab repeatedly para hindi makapasok si Edward Heno. Doing a good job of fending off Heno. Heno trying to work his way inside that defense ni Cañete. And Heno is trying to distract Cañete, but this time he's bringing down both his arms and doing the shoulder roll. So, paiba-iba klaseng depensa ang pinapakita ni Heno. Kanina, high guard to protect his face. Now, the shoulder roll a la Floyd Mayweather. At kanina lamang, he brought both his arms down as if to invite Benny Cañete to come in because Heno wants to engage.
Break.
Ayaw niya yung labanan from a distance, which is really more Cañete style. Ito, there's Edward Heno. Again, coming close.
Stop. Susuntok dito, ha? Okay, go.
Veteranong-veterano ito si Edward Heno. He certainly knows his way around the ring. Left hand connected there by Heno. Another left hand
Stop.
from close quarters. But you wonder whether Heno has enough power in his punches to hurt Cañete. Notice that si Edward Heno only has recorded 6 knockouts in 16 wins. So great majority of his victories coming on points.
10 seconds.
10-second clapper has sounded. A big miss there by Heno with the left hand.
Time.
End of the round. And round number 6 coming up. At nakikita natin dito sa Okada Grand Ballroom, wala nang silya, wala nang upuan dito. It's standing room only sa dami ng tao watching the action. And the fans here excitedly witnessing the proceedings. Here we go, round number 6.
Okay, 6th round.
Coming right up, and it's Cañete contra Edward Heno.
Top.
Heno starting this round, throwing a combination. Cañete. And he can't afford to just
Top.
stand in front of Heno without throwing any punches. He's got to keep pumping that right jab.
Ulo, ingat.
Pag nasa harapan
Best na yan.
si
Okay.
Cañete,
Go,
Heno is
ingat.
just going to pick him apart. And also Heno, that'll be an opportunity for him to set the pace. Bring the fight closer to where he is more comfortable. Ito ngayon. Body punching ni Benny Cañete. You can hear the crispness of his punches when they land. Both fighters now trading jabs. Wild left hand coming
Sa
from
ulo, wala sa batok.
Edward Heno.
Okay. Wala.
But he doesn't mind because that'll give him an opportunity to come closer. Heno wants to narrow that gap. He wants to take away that jab ni Benny Cañete. So very, very tactical fight. At natuwa na lang si Edward Heno. And it's very clear that Heno is just trying to take away the rhythm of Cañete's attack. And now it's a different kind of defensive stance ang pinapakita ni Heno.
Batok.
And Heno is very confident in what he's doing inside that ring. Now he's back to his high guard and the rope-a-dope, thinking that he might punch out Cañete, and he's inviting Cañete to come in.
Ulo, ha?
And Cañete is being drawn into the kind of style that Heno wants. He wants to brawl it out and take away that jab
10 seconds.
of Benny Cañete. And here he comes again, Heno. Coming forward. But that jab of Cañete,
Time.
it's bothering Heno, and that's the reason why he's trying to take it away. End of round number 6. That's a nice back now behind the head of Benny Cañete, who's trying to break his losing trend on blow by blow. The only 2 losses in his career he suffered on blow by blow. Ma'am Len Tomas, kumusta? Naku, more of our friends from Blow by Blow. Mitchell Orde is also with us here, as well as our other friends. Watching the action, we are in round number 7. Cañete contra Heno. Punches exchanged from long distance. And that's more to the liking of Benny Cañete. Edward Heno trying to poke Cañete from long range, but you know that Heno wants to turn this into a close encounter. Ito, binababa ni Heno ang kanyang dalawang kamay.
Break out.
And now he brings up his high guard once more and then brings down his two arms, trying to get Cañete to commit to engaging para mawala yung kanyang jab, and then back to the high guard. Cañete pounding away at the side of the body of Edward Heno, pero ang tibay ni Heno. He can take those body shots.
Top, break out.
And here's Heno once more, coming in.
Top. Tasan mo konti, ha?
Cañete continuing to throw that right jab when he can para hindi makapasok si Heno. And then, once Heno comes close,
Quick.
there will be that embrace. They're tiring each other out. Some clubbing shots here. And back to the right jab for Benny Cañete.
Ganun mo yan, ha? Go. Break it out. Break. Hop.
And this time, Edward Heno, hindi na siya maghihintay na pumasok yung jab ni Benny Cañete. He's coming in. He's coming forward.
Sa batok, ha? Susuntok sa batok, ha? Stop.
And the big problem of Heno is that he comes forward, he's not throwing any punches. Well, there he does. But when he comes charging in, he needs to throw those punches. Kundi siya tatamaan ni Benny Cañete. It's all a matter of timing. Cañete speeding away
10 seconds.
at Edward
10
Heno
seconds, huh?
with that right jab. And that's been his bread and butter
Time.
punch, yung kanyang right jab. And that's the end of round number 7. And you're wondering which fighter is more tired. Benny Cañete looks like he's thrown a lot more punches than Heno. And the left hand connecting for Edward Heno. And Cañete trying to retaliate. Couldn't find a standing target in Edward Heno, who's proving to be elusive. A smart, very intelligent fight plan being unraveled by Edward Heno, the veteran. His whole idea is to take away that jab of Benny Cañete and try to come close to force an engagement.
Go.
Ito, kinagat na lang yung loose tape sa glove ni Edward Heno ng kanyang cornerman.
Tsaka ulo. Iwasan.
And back to the grind. We are in round number 8. Sabi nga natin kanina, a battle of attrition.
Break.
Matira matibay. Here comes Cañete. He's got Heno against the ropes. Heno very easily moving away from those ropes. Some shots here by Cañete to the body. He's trying to wear down Edward Heno. Pero sabi nga natin kanina, ang tibay nitong veterano. He can take those shots to the body.
Break it out. Break it out.
And Benny Cañete might be getting frustrated sa dami ng mga tinira niya sa tagiliran at sa midsection ni Edward Heno. Heno is not going away.
Top.
Gandang laban ito. Very, very technical and very tactical. Big shots being thrown by both these fighters, but Heno likes it the way it is. They're coming close to each other. Now the right hand of Edward Heno is down on his side. Once more the high guard coming from Edward Heno. And he brings down the left hand. He's inviting Cañete to come in. Pero you notice si Edward Heno, on that time he's switch hit. He went from southpaw to orthodox.
Break it out. Break it out. Break it out.
Using a lot of tactics and guile, si Edward Heno, to try to derail si Benny Cañete.
Top. Top.
10-second clapper about to sound to end round number 8. Roundhouse left, missed by Edward
10
Heno.
seconds.
Nice counter right hand coming from Heno, just as Cañete was coming in. And here's Cañete trying to reverse the tables. But a good round there for Edward Heno as he raised both his arms. At si Heno, you see that stool is out for him to sit on, but he's not sitting down. At yan naman po si Benny Cañete getting the Enswell cold plate treatment. Panoorin po natin ang punch of the round. The left hand scored there by Edward Heno. Out of a different defensive stance as he brought down his right arm down his side. Si Heno, hindi man lang umupo ito in between rounds. The tool was out for him to sit on. Pero parang pinapakita ni Edward Heno, marami pa siyang gasolina sa kanyang tangke. This is round number 9.
Top.
And the way this fight is going, the outcome is still up for grabs. Who can tell who's at an advantage at this point? A lot of punches being thrown there by Cañete. None of them are hurting Edward Heno. Some hard shots being thrown by Benny Cañete.
Break.
You have to admire the physique of Benny Cañete. Finely chiseled physique. You see his biceps are ripping.
Top.
And they're fighting in the bantamweight division. Cañete scaling 118.5 pounds for this one. At si Edward Heno scaled 117.4. And you know, it shows that Heno has been taking care of his body, trying to make a decisive comeback in his career. In his last fight in July, nung natalo siya sa Japan by knockout, he scaled 120 and 3/4 pounds. But now he's down to 117. And a couple of years ago, he even weighed 124. So mukhang Heno is taking good care of his body, making sure that he's within the bantamweight limit.
Top. Tutulak, ha? Boom.
Less than a minute to go in round number 9. Nice combination thrown here by Heno.
Top. Big out.
Cañete looks like he's tuckered out. There's a slight swelling over his right eye. The right jabs continue to come in for Benny Cañete. Just when I said that he was tiring out, showing that he still has a lot left.
Big out.
This is going to come down to a very close verdict. 10-second clapper has sounded. Patapos na ang round number 9, and then we're going to go to round number 10. Here's Cañete on the attack. A big flurry to end round number 9 that might have stolen the round away from Edward Heno. There's Benny Cañete. See him on your screen. See Edward Heno. He's not sitting down. He's just standing up and walking near his corner in between this round and the next. Punch of the round brought to you by Ginebra San Miguel. And the fans here at the Okada, dressed in their 9s, enjoying the action, enjoying the hostilities.
Dali mo na.
Last round na po ito. Edward Heno, the veteran,
Last round. Ingat sa...
and Benny Cañete, the gladiator. Benny
Last na yan.
trying to reverse his losing trend on blow-by-blow. His only 2 losses were inflicted on blow-by-blow events. Benny Cañete still trying to be aggressive. It could come down to this last round kung sino mananalo ng laban.
Break.
And I think both fighters know it.
Break it out. Break.
Benny Cañete just trying to stand his ground with that right jab
Break.
that has been his trademark punch. At si Edward Heno, so many adjustments in his fighting stance in this fight. Trying to goad Cañete into engaging from close distance. Here's Cañete coming through. Heno saying, come on, pour it on. It's so far a big round here for Benny Cañete. Edward Heno delivering a 1-2 combination from close distance. That's really where he wants his fight to go.
Break.
That right high of Benny Cañete quickly closing.
Oh, walay.
And that's because of the damage being inflicted by the right hand, the Edward Heno. Some bombardment from Benny Cañete, and then Edward Heno coming back, lashes out with the right hand. Yun na napapansin natin, no? Yung right eye ni Benny Cañete has that swelling on the eyelid, and that's because not the right hand of Edward Heno, but the left. So I correct myself. Battle of 2 southpaws in a very engaging match.
Walay.
Very interesting, very tactical. 10-second clapper about to sound.
Break.
It's going to be tough to score this fight,
10 seconds, ha?
but it appears that Benny Cañete might have
Top.
done enough because of his work rate to win the verdict.
Time.
And there's the end of the fight as the crowd breaking out into applause to congratulate both fighters for a tough grind. I think both these fighters deserved the applause that they got from the audience. Might even be a case for a draw. But if there has to be a winner, it would probably be Benny Cañete. What a nice camera angle from our cameraman to see both fighters on both ends of the ring, on opposite corners. A close-up of Benny Cañete. And then a view of the Okada Manila Grand Ballroom in Parañaque City. So 9 years after Edward Heno turned pro. And there's Edward Heno lashing out with the right hand. And that kind of off-rhythm timing the Edward Heno has caught. And certainly Edward Heno has gone through a lot of wars. Former Oriental and Pacific Boxing Federation light flyweight champion Edward Heno from Al Joharo's gym in Binangonan, Rizal. Benny Cañete still trying to find his mark, or making his mark in the boxing world. Heno and Cañete grinning at each other. You wouldn't think it for those 10 rounds that they fought. Ito na po ang ating official decision coming from Bobby Mondihar.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, here are the scores of the 3 judges. Judge Barrientos scored it 96-94, Heno. Judge Ortega scored it 98-92, Cañete. And Judge Dulalas scored it 98-92. Winner by split decision from Ginebra, San Miguel, lamang ang may tapang. Winner, Benny Cañete.
And Benny Cañete has been declared the winner by a split decision. Wow. The scorecard of Judge Edwin Barrientos had it 96-94 for Heno. But the other 2 judges, Engineer Greg Ortega and Brembot Dulallas, had it identical 98-92 for Benny Cañete. As we mentioned, could have been a draw, but if you were to pick a winner, it had to be Benny Cañete because of his high work rate. I thought he was a little more consistent in the way he was throwing his punches.
Next bout, judges.
Edward Heno tried to make a tactical fight out of this, trying to distract and derail the rhythm of Benny Cañete with his different defensive tactics. But, you know, I thought the youthful exuberance ni Benny Cañete won out in the end. He's only 24 years old compared to 32 for Edward Heno. Heno had his moments, but not enough to be able to convince the judges to see it his way. At least 2 of the 3 judges. So a split decision has been announced, and Benny Cañete winning over Edward Heno in a grueling, action-packed contest. As you see the body shots of Benny Cañete on Edward Heno, who occasionally went to the ropes and played rope-a-dope. Round number 7, more action. The highlights brought to you by Ginebra San Miguel. Paborito natin lahat. In round number 8, Heno trying to fight back. But there was Benny Cañete. He got hit by a right hand that time by Edward Heno, and Heno connecting with the left hand in that sequence in round number 9. Benny Cañete, however, standing his ground. Heno tried to make a furious last-minute flurry to try to stem the tide, and there's Benny Cañete declared the winner by a split decision over the veteran Edward Heno.
Sasabayan ko siya. Talagang patibayan na lang ng pangatawan. Basta believe lang ako sa sarili ko kasi naging sayo kong matino. Kaya magtiwala din ako sa sarili ko. Kaya kong lagpasan to. Lahat naman yata ng boxer gusto maging world champion eh. Tiwala lang. Yun, shoutout pala sa Team Alas, Caloocan, Bicas. Andito na tayo sa Blue by Blue. First time. Thank you. Maraming salamat po, Sir Manny, na pinagbigyan nyo din po ko sa palarong ito sa Blue by Blue. Pangarap ko din to na makasali. Kaya, thank you so much po.
Ibigay ko ang lahat para manalo ulit. Pangalawang beses na akong talo dito. Lahat ng plano namin, ibigay namin sa laban. Matalo tayo, lalaban pa rin tayo. Ganyan ang boxing, win or talo. Meron din ang training, padayon gihapon ta para sa atong pangandoy. Di sini basta-basta si Heno kay dati Challenger World Champion. Di kini basta-basta matumba nato ni. Ato lang kanon dua-dua lang jud. Focus lang sa dua, focus lang sa game. I-dedicate ng fight ito. Makuha akong panalo. Binatiin ko yung mga pamilya ko at yung mga supportive ko, mga fans. Shout out nyo diya tanan o sa Team Omega, Boxing Gym, Stable. Ito ang pag-asa nato, mga madaog nato ni.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter fighting out of the blue corner. Ladies and gentlemen, Edward Heno. Right across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Cañete.
Unahan mo, bang! Sakit! Jabin mo, boxing mo na. Ayan na, champ. Ulo na yan. Yan. Sige, bitawan mo lang, champ. Tapunan mo lang. Nice! Bitawan mo lang. Yan! Diba? Yan! Kombinasyon, champ. Kombinasyon.
Winner by split decision from Ginebra San Miguel, lamang ang may taka. Winner, Manny Cañete. Cañete.
Next week on Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow.
Montales. And will that be a knockdown? And he's slow to get up. His mouth is wide open. He's gasping for air. Montales is going for the kill. This is a big round for Montales. And Alapormina is holding on for dear life. Less than a minute to go in this fight. Montales just can't find a standing target. Masyado magalaw ito si Alapormina. There's a lot of loose tape now on the glove of Montales, but referee Hocosol is saying just keep on fighting. Wala na ginawa si Alapormina kundi humawak. Last 10 seconds, and there you go. Will that be a knockdown? Will that be a knockdown?
6.
And yes, it is a knockdown. Alapormina finally going down, and referee Hocosol giving him the count. And that's a clear knockdown, and ito na naman. Oh, he's down. It was a punch right at the bell.
4, 5,
They're gonna count. You cannot be saved by the bell.
8, 9.
It's over. It's over. He's counted out. You cannot be saved by the bell. And Montales has scored a knockout. Umatake. That was a punch. Hindi natin masyado nakita yon where it landed, but there was certainly a strong punch. Oh, that was a punch to the head. That was to the jaw. Watch it again from another angle. Ito, delivering the key blow. That was a big uppercut. Landing flush on Alapormina, and he went down before the sound of the bell.